Welcome to Optimal Health Weekly with your host, Steve Adams. This podcast is for highly driven professionals, CEOs, and entrepreneurs who know health is the first wealth. Join us each week for a mix of expert interviews and solo episodes on health topics relevant to your busy life. Let's elevate your health together.
And today what we're going to talk about is how to be a peak performer and live better. And I'm going to make the suggestion that the way to do that is to learn how to live a high flow lifestyle. Okay, so what is flow? Flow is that peak state of performance or consciousness where you feel and work your best, okay? Others have tried to complicate this. What I really believe it is when you're able to sustain focus for an hour to an hour and a half on a priority item that is going to develop and build out your vision, whatever it is. That's what flow is. And the research, according to McKinsey, several years back, was the average person in this age of digital distraction gets maybe an hour or two of it a month, okay? And it is possible to get 2 to 3 hours of it every day. All right. So let's say you get 3 hours. Say you set up 3 1-hour flow blocks 5 days a week. So that's 15 hours, right? A week times 4 weeks. That's 60 hours a month. You now have a 30 to 60x competitive advantage over your competitors if you're able to harness the power of flow. So one of the challenges to that, though, is how does one do that? How does one reliably engineer flow into their life? Okay. Well, I wrote a book called Unleash the Peak Performer Within You. It's on Amazon. And this book talks about how to do that. All right. The headline is we need to optimize 3 things. Okay. 3 things. One is you need to optimize your physiology. Okay. Flow is biologically and neurobiologically expensive. It's taxing, okay? And so you're gonna want to make sure that you optimize your health. And my company, Tiger Medical Institute, does that for executives. We can give you a massive return on investment by working with one of our physicians. And everything I'm going to talk about in this podcast, you can get in my book, and then my book on steroids in a course called Get in the Zone, which is probably takes 3 to 4 months to get through the course. If you take it a little bit at a time, it'll help you do the 3 things that I'm talking about today. So number 1, optimize your physiology. Number 2, you want to optimize your psychology. And number 3, you want to optimize your daily routine. All right. You want to engineer success into your life. Okay. So I'll touch on all 3 of those in this podcast briefly, but let me set it up first. We live in this age where multiple technologies are scaling and accelerating at the same time. Okay. Ray Kurzweil talks about in the health arena that if you can stay alive until 2029 to 2035, somewhere in that time period, he predicts. Ray Kurzweil is the futurist, the technologist from Google, who has been largely correct in his major technological advance predictions over the last 30 plus years, has said that we will reach human longevity escape velocity. What he says is right now, on an annual basis, a Western European or an American gains about 6 to 7 weeks a year of longevity per year lived. Well, obviously the math works against you, right? So if you live 10 years, you're getting about a year and a half of more longevity. If you can stay around, if you can optimize your health now, optimize your lifestyle, and increase your chances of getting there, his prediction is that at the outset, 2035, the long period of time, a year lived, you're going to gain 12 months of longevity through the advances in therapies, treatments, approaches to medicine by harnessing the power of artificial intelligence to speed up all of our research. So that's a worthy goal, right? I'm 60, so if I can get to 2035, I will be 71. So I need to live out the brand of Tiger Medical. So I'm trying to do everything that we teach our clients to give me the best opportunity to be there. Now, I'm not trying to live forever, okay? What I want to do is have a high quality of life in the years that I have left. And if I can get to 2035 and that ends up being true, then what it basically says is that another year lived does not increase your risk of death. And if you're living well and you can be productive and you have a great vision and a purpose, you can have a greater impact on society for a longer period of time. But eventually the body's going to quit. Okay. And so, what I want to talk about in this podcast is that we live in this period of time where all of that's happening. We've got artificial intelligence exploding. It's going to dislocate and disrupt every industry. A lot of people are going to lose their job. There's going to be a lot of stress from that. We're already stressed because we're always on, all of these available. We get into doom scrolling and social media, and then that causes us to compare our lives to others artificially. All of that works against you, and it is causing Americans to become chronically ill at a record pace. According to a CDC study only 5 years ago, 60% of adults have a chronic disease. Okay, that's something like 100 million people. And 40% of American adults have 2.5 or more chronic diseases, which is incredible. So obviously, our lifestyle that we've lived the last 100 years is not compatible with how our genetics have formed over humanity's history. And so we're getting sicker. And that's what Tiger Medical is about, is not waiting until you're sick to try to address it. What we do at Tiger Medical is we help you become functionally younger next year by getting to the root cause, the underlying mechanisms that are at work that are either causing you to feel poorly now or they're going to lead to you feeling poorly in the future. We also understand genetics, so we're going to know what you're going to have a predisposition toward and work on that so that those genes don't express. The estimates are that 80% of the reason that your health is the way it is and that you live as long as you do is because of the choices you make in lifestyle, not your genetics. That's like 20%. So you need to harness this. And if you want certainty, if you want to stop guessing, you can do that with Tiger Medical. And I can tell you how at the end of the podcast. Steve Adams here from Tiger Medical Institute. Do you ever feel like you're operating at less than 100%? It's time to take control of your health with the True Health Assessment by Tiger Medical. Get comprehensive blood screening to identify hidden health risks before it's too late. Our team of Mayo-trained and naturopathic physicians will analyze your results and provide a custom plan to optimize your well-being. Don't let underlying issues hold you back. Invest in your most valuable asset, your health. For the price of a daily chai latte from Starbucks, you can gain priceless insights and a roadmap to peak performance. Visit truehealthassessment.com, truehealthassessment.com today and unlock your full potential. Because when you feel your best, you can achieve your best. That's true health. Anyway, the culture and the environment we live in is distracting us, and flow can be an exponential superpower response to all that's going on. Because if you try to work harder and grind faster, it's going to kill you. It's not going to work either. You're trying to attack an exponential set of changes in culture with a linear approach, okay? So squeezing out a few more productivity points through better time management or working a little bit harder, optimizing your schedule, that's not going to cut it. All right, we have to get in a flow state, because in a flow state, you're something like 500% more productive. You learn 400 or 500% faster, and your ideation and your creativity improves 3 or 4 fold as well. So who wouldn't want that, right? So what I want to do in this podcast is teach you some basic elements of that. Okay. So again, optimize physiology, psychology, and how you operate and in your day. So what we want to do is create a high flow lifestyle. All right. And to do that, let's start with pillar number 1, health. In that pillar, you want to implement some health habits, and you need to get testing done so you know where you are, you know the truth, you're not guessing. And then you need to work with a functional doctor, a doctor who does root cause medicine in concert and complementary to your primary care physician. We're not saying walk away from that, keep that, but work with someone who does that preventative, proactive medicine. It's very complementary to traditional medicine. All right. That's enough said. That's what you got to do. And at the end of this podcast, I'll give you a way to do that. Okay. So the second thing that we want to do is we want to optimize our psychology. All right. And that's about first possessing a growth mindset. All right. If you do not believe that you can learn new things, you won't learn new things. All right. You'll get stuck and you'll suffer with the dislocation that's going on. The second thing is you've got to have purpose. You got to have a big why. So then you got to be crystal clear about it, because when we have purpose, it fuels long-term motivation. All right. Motivation and willpower are unreliable. We need to prop it up with certain tools. Okay. And one of them is purpose. All right. A third area is you've got to own your results. Okay. You got to have an internal locus of control, meaning I'm where I am because of the way I've performed, not because of 10 things out there or people. All right. If you have an external locus of control, you're going to be stuck because you're always going to blame others and you're not going to look in the mirror. Okay. A fourth area is you need to have grit. All right. Grit is that unique combination of, Angela Duckworth talks about this. It's that combination of high energy, of never say die, persistence, resourcefulness, all wrapped up in one. Okay. And she did a bunch of testing with people that entered into the Navy SEALs program and Army Ranger, those elite forces where they have high washout rates. And they saw a correlation between someone's developed grit skills and a correlation to graduating those programs, finishing those programs. Okay. And I will tell you, entrepreneurs, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a professional and you've had to go through professional training, doctor, lawyer, accountant, whatever, psychologist, you have developed the ability to do hard things, and you're going to have to keep doing hard things the rest of your life. And that's why the health habits that Tiger teaches and the restoring the physiology is so important, because if you are depleted, you're not going to have the resilience to exercise your grit skills. Okay. So you see how it all relates. You got to think right, you got to feel right, and then you got to do right. Okay. So that's the fundamentals of the optimization of your psychology. The last one is just set big goals. All right. There's correlation. I forget the researcher that I cited on this, but 11 to 25% increase in motivation when you have a big goal that you set out there as a placeholder. And then what you want to do is you want to create a goal stack where you work back from that vision all the way down from a 5 to 10 year goal to a 1 year set of 1 year goal, and then quarterly objectives, priorities that are broken down into monthly goals. And then you break those down into a weekly planning cycle where you actually say, these are the 3 or 4 key things I want to get done this week, or 6 things. And then you actually plan them in your calendar. And then the night before, you make sure you've got your desk laid out, you've got exactly what you need. You're not searching for anything, so that when you hit that first flow block, the second flow block, the third flow block, you know exactly what you're doing and you go right into flow. That's how you do it. Okay. It's not magical and mystical. It can be, but you've got to set yourself up for success, and that's the way to do it. And I will tell you, that's one of the hardest things to do. I struggle sometimes with it still, and I'm the author, wrote the book, and I've been doing it for 4 years. So I would encourage you to get the book because everything I'm saying is in there in detail. And then join one of our membership levels at Tiger where you can get this full immersive course on all of this and build a high flow lifestyle. So more about that later. So now the third pillar is engineering a high flow lifestyle, engineering the ability to get in flow. Well, I just gave you one aspect of that is taking your goal plotting down to a daily flow block. Okay. So that you are not just waking up, sitting at your desk and wondering, what am I going to do? That's impossible. Okay. So engineering of life. One of the things you need to do is protect your brain energy. Your brain energy is like a cell phone battery. It diminishes throughout the day. So we're going to want to set out the clothes the night before for the workout, for the clothes that you're going to wear. You're going to want to have all your planning done. And you're going to want to have the stuff set out in the morning for your breakfast, if that's what you do. You're going to want to have your lunch already packed, if that's what you do. And you want to have your coffee pre-made. So all you got to do is hit the button. And you want to run a routine every day. It's like an algorithm. And you're not wasting any energy mentally making decisions, all right, until you get to work. So that's one area. The second area that fuels that is if you have a morning routine that includes exercise and sweating and getting that mind engaged, okay? The third thing is what you want to do is focus your attention on not switching tasks, okay? You want to focus on one thing at a time for that hour to hour and a half flow block and do it with excellence, get it done. And then when you're done, I want you to do some breathing or go for a walk, disengage, allow your mind to rest before you move into the next flow block. For most people, if you're a morning chronotype, you're going to want to get all your flow blocks done by lunch. If you're a night owl and an evening chronotype, you're going to want to do them in the afternoon and the evening, and then do your admin the opposite of your peak hours. So that's basically a primer on peak performance, how to live in a high flow peak state, and how to have a 30 to 60x competitive advantage over your competitors. So if you want help from Tiger Medical on learning how to do all of this more, go to tigermi.com, tigermi.com. And there is a free metabolic test you can take that kind of gives you a snapshot based just purely on your answers, scores it, gives you some feedback. And then we have something called the Optimal Health Test. That's a $497 investment, but you're going to get a world-class doctor who's going to review blood work with 73 markers, which is far more advanced than your local primary care and an annual physical. And then you're going to have a write-up, and then you'll meet with one of our team members. It could be me. And we're going to go through it for you, and you're going to know exactly where you stand. And it's empowering and exciting. And then I can explain the various membership levels at Tiger Medical that might be a good fit for you at that point. And all of them include all of this content that I've talked about today. So that concludes our podcast today. I hope it was helpful. Steve Adams here from Tiger Medical Institute talking about the True Health Assessment. What if you could safeguard not just your health, but the well-being of your entire family? With the True Health Assessment from Tiger Medical, you can. Our comprehensive blood screening identifies hidden risks before they become major issues. Our elite team of Mayo Clinic trained and naturopathic physicians then create a customized plan to optimize your health for years to come. When you prioritize your wellness, you ensure you can be fully present for the people you love most. Don't let preventable issues cut that time short. For less than the cost of a daily latte, you can gain peace of mind and a clear path to sustained vitality. Protect your future and your family's future with True Health Assessment from Tiger Medical at thetruehealthassessment.com. Again, that's at thetruehealthassessment.com.